Hello and welcome to AZ in the Circle, Arizona softball podcast, where we shine a light on talented, hardworking high school and college softball players and coaches in and from the 48th state. Today we have a homegrown superstar in Brynn-Jordan Smythe.
Hi.
And then from Texas, now she called GCU home, Mackenzie Nolan. How you doing?
Good.
Going to be a sophomore, middle infielder. It's great. Welcome to the show. We're super excited to have you two in our second season. So thanks. We got a great new set. Thanks to our producer, Casey Kendall at 1010 Studios in Gilbert, Arizona. Okay, so here's the topics we want to cover. We want to recap your awesome 2024 season, okay? And then we'll do some takeaways from the season, what you learned from your teammates that are returning, and were there any gifts that the graduates left you guys in terms of culture or what wisdom they shared with you.
Okay.
And then your best road trip memory. Okay. All right. And then the best on-field memory, too, in the game. And then we'll take a quick break to hear from our sponsor, Polaris PT out of Queen Creek, physical therapy. And then when we come back, we'll share your recruiting story, which is one of my favorite parts, learn how you got to GCU. And then what would you tell your younger self, knowing what you know now? And then we'll wrap up with, hey, what's your keys to success? You got to have some trait that you kind of, you're self-aware now that, I'm successful when I do these things. You're kind of taking on a certain identity to be successful. All right, so let's go. I don't care who starts. So, all right, let's recap the awesome 2024 season. Here we go. Brynn-Jordan.
Yes.
What was it like playing in is that your second regional you got to play in?
It was my second regional.
Second regional. You've won 2 WAC championships.
Yes.
And 2 regionals at UCLA.
We have.
Going into the second time, your regional, what was that like?
First of all, we were extremely grateful to be there. We were really nervous though because we were trying to figure out where we were gonna go. We were maybe it'll be Texas, maybe it'll be Cal or Stanford. We were hoping Stanford because we've been to UCLA for the past 3 years, I think. But we were just excited. I feel like we kind of had something to prove because some people thought it was a fluke that we beat the number 2 team in the nation, but we were just playing the game that we knew how to play. We just went by Coach Hazer's rules and just have fun and compete. More so, we were just playing what GCU softball does. And I think that we were really excited to just show them what we had been building up in the fall and then the spring, especially with a lot of our new players. And then especially with our, 10 seniors at the time? 10 seniors. We were trying to, give them that last hurrah and, that last, this is what y'all are leaving. The legacy that y'all built, we want to give y'all that final, outing. Granted, it probably didn't go the way we wanted, but I think we showed GC softball playing the number 17 team Virginia Tech again. We had already beat them prior in the season, playing them again, and beating them for number 50, the number 50 win, which most teams don't even get to. I feel like that was a great cap off to the season. I know we lost to UCLA again.
Did you beat Virginia Tech on a late Saturday night?
We did.
To get to Sunday.
Exactly.
So that's amazing. The day you had that day, I remember right, it was a long day.
It was.
Sun up.
Yes.
And then when the sun went down, you guys were still playing.
Exactly.
I think almost past midnight.
It was very late. Past midnight.
Yes, you were already in Sunday, so you actually won a game on Sunday.
We did, but I didn't think about that.
Basically, yes.
We did. We played 2 games on Sunday, basically.
Yeah.
But being able to beat them twice, I feel because that was the hardest regional. People had said that, but being able to beat them twice, I feel that really showcased to people we're not just a small mid-major Christian school that some people claim they don't know about. We are actually a really talented school that have a lot of students come from around the nation. As you can see, Mac, that we can take on anyone. You just have to give us a chance.
That was an ACC team.
Exactly, a heavy hitter ACC team.
And we had also beat San Diego State, which we lost to them.
They eliminated us
before, so
yeah.
You guys beat some Pac-12 teams during the season as well.
We did, yes. It was. I feel that season was just a dream of it was going like this, but I feel once we found our footing, I feel it was just smooth sailing ahead, and I don't think anything could have stopped us except ourselves.
Oh, that's awesome. And then Mackenzie, Mac, right?
Yes.
Mac, what about she recapped the regional. What about clinching the WAC championship, regular season championship, and then tell us about winning. You guys had a first round bye in the WAC conference championship, and then you won 3 in a row. Tell us a little bit about both.
Yeah, I think that our Coach Hayes, he emphasized winning one game at a time, and that really helped us because we knew that we could win a regular season and the tournament, and we didn't want to get ahead of ourselves. So just winning one game at a time and focusing on the little things, that really helped us get to where we were. So, yeah, it was super awesome. It was my first experience being there, the WAC tourney, and just the level of competition and just winning a conference championship. That's what I've dreamed of. So doing that was awesome. Yeah, it was great. It was awesome.
So then you just repeat.
Yeah.
Rinse, repeat, do it again.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, good. And then from what I understand, when you won the regular season championship, it was against you were 9 hours away. Where were you?
Utah Tech.
Utah Tech. So you win it, you celebrate on the field, and then what was the next thing? You thought you were going to go celebrate?
Yeah, but we ended up driving 9 hours back while some of us were probably asleep and some of us were also doing homework in the back of the bus. I was the sleep person. Yep. So.
You got to get it done in the classroom too.
Student athletes.
Student athletes. Well, that's great to hear. And then you had a bye in the WAC championship, the first round.
Yes.
Then you won first game against
Seattle
University. Then you played
Utah Valley.
Utah Valley, and then you won it against Cal Baptist.
Yes.
And then you were waiting for that Sunday selection. You're twice now you've been to Sunday selection show. Is that pretty exciting?
It is.
You guys get together.
Exactly. The anticipation is there. We're usually when we do it, we sit in like a classroom underneath the soccer stadium because that has like the most projection. We all kind of took guesses trying to figure out where we were going.
The whole weekend.
The whole week we're like, where do you think we're going? Where do you think we're going? I was like, Stanford. I was like, Texas, because I have teammates that I've played with that have gone there. So I was like, it'd be great to see them. Yeah. We all took guesses. When I tell you, well, maybe like 3 of us said UCLA just because we're like, we're going somewhere far. Like we're not driving, we are flying. And then they said UCLA, and we were like we'll take it. You know, we made it. So we'll gladly go there. But we're just like, we kind of like wanted to experience something more. But I mean, making it to regionals is not everyone gets to say they've done that, let alone a regional final to get to say that done that. So I was just happy to go anywhere in the regionals.
So I'm sure Coach Hayes has some high expectations for you guys coming up this season.
He does. He's told us that.
Good. So takeaways from the season. It's a good segue. What'd you learn about your teammates that are returning to the team that you're like, wow. I mean, you had a great lineup last year.
We did.
Yeah. But you probably look at the lineup that will probably be the lineup. You'll find out pretty soon. First official practice tomorrow. Yep. Ball. You guys all battle for positions. And I know Coach Hayes loves that. I know he loves that you guys compete. That's his little formula, which works.
It does.
Yep.
It does.
And then like last year where he had the right fielder All-American.
Yes.
And then the next thing you know, she's never played first base in.
Never.
And she's at first base.
Yep, all of the games.
Super season, and now professionally she's playing first base. It's insane.
Exactly. Only he finds out things like that and does things like that.
Super. Okay, so what'd you learn about your teammates from last year that are returning?
I think me and Matt can both come together on this. I feel like we learned that there's different ways to lead, as opposed to when we both came up in softball, that we were taught to lead. You lead by your voice, you lead by your actions. But I feel like our teammates and seniors, but teammates especially this season, showed us that you can lead by your voice, you can lead by your silence, even if that you can lead by your glove, your defense, just how you talk to people. Just because we always thought leading is you're that big dog, you're that presence, you're the well-known presence. But I feel like MK, who was just here, Micaiah, and Lovey, but also known as Jacelyn, but Lovey, they lead just by their presence and how they come with themselves. It's not where we need that big dog where it's just I know she's here. They lead by their actions, and I feel like I can more so correlate to that just because I'm more of a reserved person. I will lead, but it's not always going to be that first person that you see. I feel like they're leading the same way I theoretically, as we're going to be as she's going to be an upperclassman next year, I'm going to be a senior. I feel like I would lead the same way they're leading right now by their presence. Example. Exactly. And I strive to follow them just because I'm taking notes, thinking this is what I want to do for my senior because they're doing exactly what I want to do. So that's my takeaway.
Yeah, and we weren't sure if Micaiah was coming back this year, but we're so thankful because he's a presence on the field and off the field, and that's going to really help us this year. So.
Exactly.
She hits everywhere.
She's insane.
Exactly.
Triple, doubles, bombs, bunts, whatever it takes to get on base, she'll find a way.
I don't know how she didn't hit the cycle as many times as she just
she's amazing.
All over the field. She bunted, then she would hit a home run, then a triple, and I'm just.
And then when she gets on base, it's a run.
It's a run because she's fast.
Because they don't think she's gonna go because they're oh, she's a 6 hitter or a 5 hitter. She's not gonna steal. The next thing you know, she's at third, and I'm just
well, you have 2 or 3 All-Americans in your through 1 through 5, you know, in an all whack everything in there. 6th spot is like a 1 or 2 or 3 spot anywhere else.
Exactly. She I think like our lineup, but our past lineup was also full of surprises. You didn't really know how to play us. Like MK, theoretically, like when you see her body build, you're like, oh, she looks fast, but her power doesn't give off that she can like steal a base or like take one from me. When you look at me and Mac, you kind of think like slappers, maybe triple threats, kind of sort of. But when you look at her, you're like, what the heck? Where does she steal a base from? Oh, now she's at 3rd. Like she will gladly.
She is a triple threat.
She will gladly take home on just like you being lackadaisical and like not thinking she's gonna score, and she will gladly do it because Coach Hayes is extremely aggressive on the bases and he likes to take one from you.
Good.
Yeah.
Yep. He's got athletes.
He does.
Smart athletes.
He does. He calls us dudes.
Dudes.
Yeah.
Gotta be studs
we
and dudes.
We say dudettes now because we're like, we're girls,
Dudettes.
we're women, you know, dudettes.
Yeah, dudes. That's good. Do that. I'm good with that. All right, good. And then what about the great players that left? You know, what kind of gift did they leave behind, or legacy did they leave behind, or example? What are some of the takeaways you can take from what they did for the team?
I'll let Matt
They
take
were
that one.
such great examples. I think coming in as freshmen, it's kind of intimidating having 10 seniors be your leaders. But I had the privilege to play behind Caitlin Dunkel last year, and just she was quiet, sort of a little bit, but she definitely led by example, and so I learned so much from her. And so going into this role this year, like I can thank her for that too. But also we had really good spiritual leaders. Faith was a big part of it. So like Ariel Thompson, she definitely inspired all of us in our faith. Tree was just amazing vocally and on the field. Her presence was amazing.
Off the field, did they take you under their wing?
Yes,
Yeah.
for
Did they
sure.
make you
Like,
feel welcome.
They're
We're
not
still
even-
all friends to
the
this
amount of
day.
Pictures we could show you of us just going on trips, like outside of softball, it would blow up
And
a
that's what
camera
I can
roll.
say is they definitely made it like a family, like freshman and senior. Like I felt like there was no age difference at all. We were all a big happy family.
Exactly.
So that's what made it so fun.
Great. Also, in the previous interview, Micaiah and they were telling us that Coach Hayes gave the seniors some space, you know, to give them a lot of time off to do what they want. It wasn't like they were hovering. So he entrusted the seniors, he gave them that faith that, hey, go be responsible, represent Grand Canyon in a good way, and those privileges will continue.
Yes.
Is that something that you guys got the message from the seniors to say, hey, we got to represent GCU well if we want to continue to have these kind of privileges?
Yes.
So what is that, more free time, or what would you call it?
I would say more free time. The first couple of like weeks, like especially fall ball week, it's just a grind. But I will say, like after fall ball season, he does let off the reins a little bit because he's like, you guys have put in the hard work. We've done what we needed to do. We had a good showcasing, even if like we didn't, but we have like a standard to uphold. He gives us that reins. He gives us by like ending practices early, or we're just gonna do an all hitting day or all defensive day. Then we'll start going into the weekends are off, and that's kind of like our favorites because we're like, yay! But we're like, what do we do now? We're not used to having weekends off, so then we would go to like the Uptown Farmers Market with each other because we're like, we love the farmers market because they're coffee girls, her and Ariel, and I'm just like a smoothie person. So we used to go there, or Sundays are our days. It's the Lord's Day, so we would go to church together, or Sonic runs. Sonic runs. We go to Sonic a lot.
Do you guys ever play beach volleyball? Because I know Grand Canyon has
Yes.
awesome
Oh my gosh.
beach volleyball thing set up right on campus.
There were
Spike ball.
times where we would play pretty much every night.
Beach volleyball.
Yeah, at night.
Oh, that's great.
Yes.
So fun.
Yes, spike ball.
You get the competition going.
Yes, or we would just play against random people.
Random
sometimes.
people.
We just like, hey, you want to play a game? He's like, yeah, and we just start going against. It would go from like 3-on-3 or like 2-on-2 to like
12 on 12.
yeah.
All right, great.
It's just the environment.
community.
Yeah.
Very good community.
Okay. Well, the next one is kind of fun too. Is your best road trip memory off the field? Okay, so it could be you're on the road. You know, it's a long weekend. You got a lot of games. You're traveling. Give me something that you remember that was a good memory.
Yeah, I feel like for most travel tournaments, we're only there for 1 or 2 nights. But for the WAC tournament, we went to Seattle, and that was definitely a time for team bonding. I feel like we went to baseball games. We went to an island.
Yeah.
What was that?
We
Bainbridge?
went to Bainbridge Island.
Took a ferry there. Just explored the city, and that was so much fun. I feel like our team really grew
Did you
there.
catch a fish?
No.
That was
Night market.
closed. That was
No,
closed.
it was
when we went
closed,
there.
yeah.
We would have caught it for sure though.
Sure.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah, it was really, really fun because I did not know Bainbridge Island started pickleball.
Oh.
So I learned a fun fact that they started pickleball, and literally every single store you go in, because I had to get a souvenir. Every store you go in, we started pickleball. And I'm like, wow. I mean, I'm proud of it because pickleball is very big now. Mm-hmm. But like I love Seattle personally because I've been there when I was younger. But going back with like my teammates and like my family and just like being able to like actually just sit and enjoy the moment without like having to do the business side of what I'm there for was absolutely amazing. And just like seeing our faces and just seeing like, man, we actually look like people outside of our softball uniforms. Yeah. You just don't know what we look like. And it was a blast. Okay. Like just hearing each other laugh and stuff like that. I loved it.
That's good.
Mm-hmm. On top of that, we got the win. So yes, it made it even more fun.
We got the ring.
We got the ring.
Oh yeah, speaking of rings, how is that? Is there a certain day that coach gives you guys the rings, or it just says?
Honestly, we don't know. He usually surprises us. We did get the text over the summer asking what size our ring was, but usually they surprised it. My freshman year when they gave the returners their ring, he like brought us outside of the softball field and was like there's a field across from the softball field. It's a track, and it's like a bunch of people go out there play spike ball, disc golf, and he's like, what do you guys see over there? And I'm like, a bunch of people. And he's like, be more specific. I'm like, friends. And he's like, no. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna stop talking now. And he like sat us out there for 20 minutes, and he goes back out and he's like, okay, when we go back there, I want in and out and I want it clean. And I'm like, okay, that was a waste of a talk. We go back out there and they run, and I'm just like, should I be running too? Like, what's happening? All of their rings are at their positions.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then
last year.
Yeah, go ahead. You can
last year, I mean, I didn't get one because I was a freshman, but we were doing conditioning, and we were, I think, 400-yard shuttles, I want to say.
Yes.
Yeah, and there were just boxes laying out in the field, and Clark said, go, our conditioning coach, and we just ran, and they found him.
Yeah, we were just like dogging at first. We were like, oh my God, we're like mentally dialing in for the 400. It does. It like lined up in like, because we have groups, it lined up by groups, and we were just running, and next thing we know, I like looked down, and I'm like, what is this black? Oh my God, and we open it, and we're just like, oh.
That's good. That's great.
I don't know what they're going to do this year, but I mean, each year they step it up, so I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's good. Maybe they'll fly it in.
Maybe, or practice.
Helicopter on the field.
Hopefully.
All right, so time to hear from our sponsor, Polaris PT Physical Therapy. Brig does a great job rehabbing athletes, getting them ready for their sport, different sports. So Brig with Polaris PT out in Queen Creek, go check them out, and we'll be right back.
At Polaris PT and Wellness, we believe that movement is medicine. We believe that as an athlete, you should be performing at the highest level. And so we deliver performance-driven solutions to get you back out onto the field faster. So give us a call at 480-808-4995 or reach out to us through our website, www.polarisptphx.com, where movement is medicine.
And we're back. Thank you, Brig, with Polaris PT out in Queen Creek. If you got any issues or if you just want to get better as an athlete, go see Brig at Polaris PT. Okay, so our last two topics, we're going to ask each one of you to share your recruiting journey. One of my favorite parts of the whole show. And then we'll ask you at the end, also, what are some of the keys to what makes you successful? So, Mac, we'll start with you out of Plano, Texas. I want to hear the journey that got you to here to your sophomore year.
Yeah, so I played on a travel ball team called Texas Glory, and we were based out of Dallas, Texas area. And at the time, my travel ball coach was Maribeth Gorsuch, and she was our pitching coach. And then previously here, she was our pitching coach at Grand Canyon. And Coach Hayes had known her, talked to her about getting the job here. And so he had just accepted the job, and we were in Oklahoma. And he was at one of our games, and I guess he noticed me because I got a call from him later on September 1st. But yeah, September 1st was fun. He invited me out for a visit, had a visit, stayed with some girls who had just graduated last year. Yeah, so was around campus, saw the community.
What time was the visit? Was it in September or was it October?
It was early September.
So
I'm pretty sure.
Here.
It was, yes.
And
it was
Plano,
so
Texas?
hot.
It's hot.
It's about the same, but it's a dry heat here or whatever. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, we were here, saw the campus, saw the community, saw everyone, loved each other here. The coaches were amazing. They treated me so well here. And then I went home, prayed about it, and then Coach Hayes called me again, and I was like, yep, this is definitely where I need to be. It just, like, nothing else to me compares to it as far as, like, again, community and, like, coaching staff. So, yeah, that's how I ended up here.
Well, that's great. So that's really good story. That's a great story. What would you tell your younger self going into September 1st now that you know what you know? And
Yeah. I think I would just say to have fun, because at that time it was such a stressor. I remember having so much anxiety all the time about where I was going to college, what I was going to do with my life. And honestly, like being here and at the visit really just calmed my nerves so much, because I just felt like home immediately. So that's probably what I would tell myself.
good. Yeah. And Brynn-Jordan, what's your story? You're from Chandler High School.
Yes.
Right? Phoenix, Arizona, homegrown.
Yes.
Tell us how it happened.
So my story is honestly like really funny in my opinion, but y'all have to help me out with it.
Okay.
So I was actually going to practice. I played on Arizona Storm national team, so it was our practice before PGF Colorado Sparkler, and I was just practicing. We were just throwing, doing some defense, and I just see this what I thought was a dad, like just sitting in his rocking chair.
Oh yes.
And like, cause it's the dad chairs, that's what I call him. He's just sitting in his rocking chair, and he's just smiling at me, and I say, hi, how are you? And he's like, hi, I'm good, how are you? And I'm like, I'm good. I'm thinking he's a dad the entire time, cause he doesn't have anything GCU on, and I wasn't on social media that much, but I'm just talking with my teammates, and they make me do infield. I'm an outfielder by trade, guys. I don't touch the infield, ask Mac. But he's like, you're really good, and I'm like, oh my God, I think he's kidding. But it continued on. He keeps joking with me, and I'm just like, he's a really nice dad. So it carries on.
He doesn't have purple on.
No, literally nothing.
That's how he was when he came to mine too.
He just has Nike on and his glasses, and I'm just
I've seen him in his rocking chair. We were at Don Battles
Exactly.
on, and he was home court. I mean, he was in a rocking chair, and there were like people around him, and he was just
he's
having
so
a great time.
inconspicuous. I think that's how he gets people. That's how he gets people. But it carried on to Colorado Sparkler, and we always like hit in a facility before we go and practice, because there's not much practice time. My team goes and hits in a facility, and I'm hitting, and he's there again.
At the hitting facility.
And I'm like, whose child? Like, who are you with? I'm trying to find the correlation. I'm not finding it. And he's just like, you have a really nice swing, Brynn. And I'm like, thank you, coach. I really appreciate it. And he keeps talking to me once again, just Nike, some glasses, and a bucket hat. I'm like, oh, he's real inconspicuous this time. It carries over after him watching me practice for another day. And then after Colorado Sparkler, maybe 2 days before like pool play, my coach calls me. He's like, hey, Brynn, GCU coach wants to talk to you. And I'm like, coach, like, who is it? Like, I'm thinking like Ann Pearson, like the same coach. And he goes, no, the new GCU coach. And I'm like, I just got back on the social media. I'm like, oh, okay. And it's the same person. It's Coach Hayes. And I'm just like,
say to him.
I'm like, oh, and I like get on the phone, and he's like, hi, Brynn, how are you? And I'm like, why didn't you tell me that you were you? Like, and he said, he's like, I didn't know that you didn't know who I was. I thought you were just, joking with me and talking to me. I'm like, I wasn't on social media. I didn't know. I'm so sorry. Like, I would have said hi, coach. And he's like, I like that you didn't know who I was, because you didn't change who you were. And he tells me while we're on the phone, he's like, I would love to get you out on a visit in between of Colorado Sparkler and going to PGF. And I was like, I would love that. Like, because
you're from here, so you knew it was hot.
So, and I hadn't gotten too many calls on September 1st. So my goal to my mom and dad was, I want to be committed before my senior year, because this was the end of my junior year. I go on the visit to GCU. We take a lap around the field. He shows me the facility, and I'm just like falling in love with it, because I have never seen the inside.
Your parents were with you?
Yes, I have never seen the inside of GCU. My dad works for the VA, so he drives the backside. Never
Indian
seen the actual campus. Exactly. So I'm seeing the campus, and I'm like, it's like home away from home. It's beautiful.
It's brand new.
Exactly. Like, it's everything I need. I don't
Mr.
really need
Colangelo,
to leave.
you
Exactly.
put
like,
your hand in something, and it's going to be
you.
great.
Exactly. I'm like, thank you. And I like leave after talking to him, and I'm like, guys, what do we think? And he's like, what do you think is the question? And I text Coach Hayes. I'm like, you're stuck with me for 4 years. Yeah. Like, I was just ecstatic the way they went about it. Coach Winty, the coaching, Mary Beth. Like, I was just ecstatic to be there. And I was like, so like, can August 31st come about? That's when I moved in. So I was like, can we speed past senior year? Like, you can mail me my diploma. Yeah. So I was just excited.
You were excited. And then so the following summer, when your last club season, you were super excited to get through it.
Yes.
And then,
oh my gosh. Yes, I was so excited, especially because like he was keeping in touch. He's like, hey, how are you, Brynn? And I'm like, I'm really good, Coach Hayes. Like, because sometimes there's stories about like college coaches like falling back a little bit because you've committed. They really don't need to watch you as much. Coach Hayes was so interactive. He would check on me. Like,
continue to develop that relationship.
Exactly. And I think that's like what drew me in even more, is because like, even though I'm committed to you and you really don't need to worry about me anymore, you're still checking on me.
Yeah.
Like, you still want to make sure I'm good. Like, you're asking, like, how my mom and dad are. Like they're fine. But, like, it's just, like, the thought that counts. And I think that's what drew me in even more. Because I'm like, I got to go here. I'm like, and if other people, I'm like, I have to tell my other teammates this, like, and I think that's what even worked out even better because me and Savannah Girl, Sean Kirk, we played on the same club team.
Yep.
And then look at her now. She's at Grand Canyon.
Yep.
So I just think just the fact that the way he went about it and the way he went through my coaches, my family, and then got to me, and then I was able to be like, hey, like, you got to talk to him. Like, you got to come here.
And she's here.
And now she's here. And now look at her. So.
Yep. And you guys are like, I don't even know. There's Power 4, right? But really, it should be Power 4 plus GCU.
Right.
You guys are, Power 4A.
Yeah.
They should just make Power 5 Power 5 include the wherever you guys are playing, whatever conference you guys play. Speaking of that, you got one more year left in the WAC, and then you're going to the West Coast Conference for you're going to be a.
I'm gonna be a senior but like redshirt junior.
You're gonna have one more year after that, so you get to play in the WCC.
Yes.
Against Seattle U, Oregon State.
Yep.
Santa Clara, LMU,
Mm-hmm.
USC, University of San Diego, with those two great coaches down there. Coach Knight and Coach Knight. That's going to be amazing. And Pacifica.
Yes.
So that's going to be a great conference.
I think it is too, especially like us coming in. I feel like we kind of have like a target on our back, especially with us coming in with hopefully 4 like back-to-back now, like WAC championships. I feel like they're going to be gunning for us, claiming like I feel like we have something to prove. Like, we not only can we just win it in the WAC, we can also win it in the West Coast Conference. So I feel like we have something to prove, but I also feel like they're not like, no team is going to go easy on us, but they're also going to be like, hey, we got to be Grand Canyon. Like, we just have to. Like, we can't let them just come into the WCC.
It's a statement win for them if they win.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, I feel like, I mean, we're excited, and I just think we got to go one thing at a time and focus on the WAC, and then once we get to WCC,
that's true.
We're going to play our game still.
Good. And then what would you tell your younger self, knowing what you know now, about September 1st or leading up to it, or just the recruiting process in general? Because I thought that's really smart that you told your parents, September 1st came and didn't have, but, I kept working hard through the fall, and then you told them, I just want to be committed before I start my senior year, and you made it.
I did. I made my goal.
Yeah. So what would you tell your younger self about that whole process?
Honestly, I will say I was one of those. I did get kind of discouraged when I didn't get as many calls on September 1st, but I just leaned toward my mom and dad. I'm a big family person. I would tell myself, don't be sad, or don't just stop working hard just because what you thought you wanted to happen didn't happen. There's plenty more summer. There's plenty more games to continue on working hard, grinding, and coaches are still looking and reaching out to you. Just because it didn't happen that September 1st doesn't mean it won't happen again. Coach Hayes and our journeys are a testament to that. Honestly, I would just say keep working hard and keep grinding, because at the end of the day, it's a circle and it's going to come back.
Yeah, that's great. And that's a great segue to my next question. Final question is, each of you, Mac, start with you. What are some of your keys that make you so successful? Keys to your success?
Yeah, so I think I have Coach Hayes to thank for this too, because he stresses 3 rules that we have. The first one is compete and have fun at all times. The next one is be kind and be thankful. And the last one is it's just softball. And so the first one, just going out every day with a competitive mindset, but also knowing that it's really not the end of the world if we do fail, and that we're just supposed to have fun, because at the end of the day, it is just a game. The second one, be kind and be thankful. Well, we have to be thankful for the opportunity that we have every day to come out, because there's so many people that don't have the opportunity to. And then just be kind and respect our teammates. And that's what is like how our family becomes so strong as a softball team. And then the last one is just softball. Yeah. So
good.
That's all. Yeah,
that's great.
That's all there is. It's just softball.
Success, and Coach Hayes has been super successful, so he knows what he's talking about.
He does.
He's a dude.
Yes,
he is a dude and a stud.
All right. And then?
I would say that softball is a trial and tribulations. We've all had our fair share of ups and downs, but I would say, like, having the failures, the no's, the you've been cuts guide me through it. And also Coach Hayes realizing that it is just a sport. Like, softball's not what makes me at the end of the day. And I feel like him preaching that consistently, especially every single day at practice, really guided me. Even after I committed, like, guided me outside of, like, I'm committed. I don't really, I still have to play hard, but, like, I can take a few games back. I feel like that also really implemented me and, like, stayed with me, because even when I'm playing now and I have an off day, I'm just like, it's just softball. And Coach Hayes also thinks about that, like, she had a bad day, but it's just softball. She's going to come back the next day and be the same person that I recruited her to be. So I just think Coach Hayes implementing it's just softball especially because we're extremely hard on ourselves, stayed with me a lot.
So work hard, but also realize it's just a game. So, don't be so hard on yourself.
Exactly. We're people. We're humans. We will make mistakes, but we just take it a little bit more personal because it's our craft.
Yeah.
So we've got to polish it.
Yep. Well, that's great. Well, thank you both. Thank you, Mac. Thank you, Brynn-Jordan, for being on the show. You guys are fantastic.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah. You guys are really good. You made it fun. You brought a lot of energy, and I know that's the energy you're going to take onto the field as you start fall ball. So best of luck in fall ball.
Thank you.
And then I know you're going to kick some butt in the spring. Spring will be here before you know it.
Yes.
I know.
Thank you.
I feel like the softball season just ended,
I know.
And then here you are ready to ramp it up again.
Right.
Yeah.
Agree.
So thank you, and thank you for listening. If you like what you saw and you felt like we earned your subscription, then please subscribe. Please like us. Share the word that we're sharing great stories about softball in Arizona. So Javier with AZ in the Circle, Arizona Softball Podcast. Thank you.